I was gonna say. I mean, he did all that math. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you're older than me, and I was like,
like,
man,
carry the one. You're like 57,
dude.
Why you were 95?
I am 95.
Then you.
Like an
Then
old
you'll be
soul.
20. I thought you were already 28 then.
I'm not 28 until this year.
95 turns 28 in 2023.
Oh, that's right.
You fucking
I
idiot.
turned 27.
So you guys just met.
So I'm literally still older than you. That was one of those moments that it's just like, we're just gonna let this one ride out. Just
Yeah,
like,
no, it's
I'm
good.
already 27. I forgot.
Oh,
dang,
man.
son.
It's like one of those things where it's like, if have you ever been like friends with someone for too long, and then you're like, well, I can't ask you how many siblings you have at this point, you know, like,
I should know.
Or what your
yeah,
middle name is or
yeah,
something.
yeah, or like how you pronounce your last name. For the longest time, like my best friend, I didn't know how to pronounce her last name. I met her in college, and like, I started Googling her and finding YouTube videos of her like giving like speeches in high school, and I was like, okay, this is how you pronounce the name. I was like stalker level. But I got it right, which is good. But.
How hilarious would it have been if you still would have got it wrong? Just like everybody else was saying it wrong, and she was just rolling with it.
She's like, "That's so funny you said it like that. No one said that about. No one said my name like that since the 2013 speech and debate competition, and that's on YouTube. That's so weird. You said my name like that. I'm sorry.
That's funny, guys. Welcome to Help I'm High and Can't Get Down. We got Hannah Romes here. Improviser, stand-up comedian. She does it all. She's everything.
Internal conflict all the time.
She's like, do I just do written material or do I just kind of whatever?
Yeah.
Banana.
Yeah. Drew Carey. Yeah. Very silly.
Dude, so how you been, man? How you been?
Good. I've been good. I visited my aunt. My aunt turned 99 this past weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is a big moment.
Yeah, big moment. She's still like kind of there, and I asked her, I was like, what's your secret?
She was kind of there?
Yeah,
like,
well,
where was
she's 99.
she?
She was there, not mentally. She's like, 99. But I asked her, I was like, what's your secret to a long life? And she was like, just eating a lot of candy. And then she like brings out like 3 boxes of chocolates, and she's like offering them to me. It was the cutest thing. She's like,
how many did you
she's
eat?
like, then you'll live forever. I ate a couple, just a couple. So I'll probably live to like 72.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Just like eating the entire rest of the box.
Yeah. Well, I guess her doctor told her, he was like, yeah, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. And I was like, man, that's amazing.
Dude, there was this one girl I think that I saw on like YouTube or something that she was like 102.
Yeah.
And she was still smoking cigarettes.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe it was a dude.
Man.
This one, yeah, I don't remember which one it was. But
I saw something about like if I don't know. This is like probably on the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm canceled.
we're just turning into the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, you should
Hello,
take the
I am
scripts
Joe Rogan.
from Joe Rogan and just read them the next
Yeah.
day. No, some guy was saying like nicotine's good for your brain, so maybe that's
Well,
he needs to study
so
her.
I think so. It's like a double-edged sword. I think it's like there's like receptors in your brain that probably like take in the nicotine, and it makes you more focused, supposedly.
Oh, I just listened to this today.
There you go.
Nicotine is good because it enhances your brain activity, but smoking is bad because there's other chemicals in it, and the carcinogens, especially in cigarettes.
Yeah.
So maybe just like nicotine gum will make you last forever.
Okay.
Nicotine patches.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if that's what my aunt said? Like a very specific thing. Like, I should put on my nicotine patch at 8:05 a.m. every morning since I was 22.
Which
would have been like
what's her name as a 99? Like her first name?
Her name's Shirley.
Shirley.
Yeah.
Man, that is an old
Yeah,
name.
I know.
That's an old name.
Isn't it crazy if you think about like how like at some point like a baby was named that, and they're just like, and they're like, that's an adorable baby name.
It's like, this is Gretchen.
yeah. Like, oh, Mildred. It's like, oh, that's gross.
I lived next to a Ruth.
Yeah.
And I just imagine a baby Ruth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, exactly. Yeah. Just a tiny little baby.
Just like, I'm just like,
a
man.
Babe Ruth. That is very weird. Yeah, I kind of like, I don't know. I kind of think like bringing the old names back would be kind of fun, though. You know, like it'd be kind of like quirky, but then that person grows up, and then like you got people thinking that you're like 70 when you're turning 28. Or
I
whatever,
know. So hold on. Let me see. Have you like ever thought about like what you would name babies, like your babies, if you were gonna have babies?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone has.
So, like, what are your top names? Are they old names?
No, Oliver. I like the name Oliver a lot.
Oliver.
Yeah,
I feel like that could be a pretty young name.
That's like a cool name, I think.
Yeah,
like,
it's
it could be
getting
taken...
hip. It's like coming back. It's like one of those like vintage things, like ripped jeans.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And like you can go by like
Oliver.
Ollie or something, like that's kind of fun as a kid.
Yeah, okay.
And then Elizabeth, but like go by like Eliza, I think would be really cute.
Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Oh.
Elizabeth and Ollie, they'll be twins.
Okay. Queen Elizabeth just died. She was old.
I was gonna call her Queen Elizabeth. Her first name's Queen, middle name's Elizabeth. R.I.P.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, so like I'm in one of those positions where my dad, he named his first son after him.
Oh yeah.
So I'm the third, and so I'm like, do I continue that?
Wait, are you the first son?
Of him.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, but so my dad's the second.
Okay.
So I was just, I should have. Okay, my grandfather named my father after him, and then my father named.
Gotcha,
It's a much lot longer. You know, if I just say it like that.
you were like, he named his first son after me, but I'm the third son, so he named me nothing.
So I'm the third, and it's like,
yeah.
do I continue that? Do I do Edwin Marvin Sherman the fourth?
That's your name?
Well, the third, yeah.
Marvin might come back. I don't know.
My dad, when I was young, my dad was like, yo, like, you know, if you just keep naming, if you name your son and you convince him to name his, like, by the time we get to like 40s or 50s, you know, the world will have devolved back into like some type of monarchy. Yeah. And then who knows? Our name might be cool enough to just make him king.
Well, yeah, someone will just be like, does anybody here have like a regal name? It's like, I'm Eddie Sherman 38.
I'm
like,
Edwin Marvin.
Yeah, this is a monarchy in space is what I was imagining.
Dude, that would be crazy. Just like, it's like, what if like that's how we did it? Like every time we go back to like a different like planet, like we just devolve into the old thing, because they're like, hey, you guys are part of democracy, and like, well, you're a billion miles away, so you can go fuck yourself.
It's true. I feel like whoever gets to go on the planet after Earth, they're all gonna be like billionaires anyway. So
do you think so though?
Yeah.
I don't, but like, hold on, here's the deal. Like, I think that would be the case after things are good.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
They'll be the first ones that like have kids and survive. The like plebs will be the ones that are like go there and die, and then the actual real people will survive. You know,
the real people.
Yeah, those
other
billionaires.
Okay, I think Hannah's a billionaire. She's like, those aren't real people. They're dead now.
What is your name? Oh, are you only the third in your generation?
I'm Gretchen, the 58.
Yeah, exactly. Do you feel like growing up, did that make your name like feel cooler if you had like the third after it?
You know, I think that sometimes I feel like it's like cooler now. People find it like cooler now.
In this age, or like in 2023? Okay.
Yeah. Everyone's like, when I like, they'll just know me as Eddie.
Yeah.
And then they're like, whoa, your name's Edwin? And then I'm like, yeah, it's this. And then they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people, I don't know why, but I guess a lot of people don't know a lot of Edwins.
No, I don't. I know like, I think one. No, I know. I know one previously to the Columbus comedy scene.
Okay. So I was like, that's crazy. A lot of people know either just like Edward, they know Edwards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is crazy. Which Edward is the worst name, first of all, if you're going to name your kid.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Are you saying that because
I'm Edwin?
Because you're Edwin?
First of all, what is an Edward? What is a ward?
What's an Edwin? Oh.
Because I'm winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. Didn't see it coming. I didn't see that one coming, I'll be honest. You really got me. It's like, well, listen. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Edward, like, he must have like been a warden or something maybe back in the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Not as cool. I don't
Yeah,
know.
super lame.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like a cop. Not cool.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
like,
narc.
but see, but
I come from a long line of narcs in my family. Man, yeah. Suddenly I hate Edwards too. This is how I've decided. Yeah,
she's
Edward's
like,
way
my Uncle
cooler.
Edward is
Yeah,
dead to me now.
yeah, he's well, yeah.
Oh, that's fucking funny. Yeah, I was going to say, let me see. So it's like, there's Edwin, Edward. You know, I go by Eddie normally. You
Yeah.
know, it's like got die at the end, and I feel like that's. I don't know what that. You know, what
does that mean to you? Yeah,
I don't know.
that's kind of interesting because like you could have won or you decided to die. Like it's very
Exactly.
two distinct contrasts.
Yeah, and that's the name that I normally go by.
When did you start feeling that way? Was it like quarter life crisis?
Yeah, I
moment?
think
Like,
so. Yeah, exactly.
Before you're like,
Probably.
yeah, I'm Edwin, I'm cool, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm Eddie, and you start smoking cigarettes.
Start smoking vapes.
yeah,
That's so
yeah,
edgy, just like 2022.
It's
Just like,
you
oh, the pandemic really hurt me.
2022, man, that was a year ago. that was a 12 to 1 month ago. What's going on here?
That's crazy. So, what have you been doing recently?
Like
What have you been got going on? Shows,
show wise?
improvising.
Yeah,
You've been
yeah.
doing some shows with the Addict recently.
Yeah, so I'm doing. I'm helping produce Friday shows at the Attic. 3 Fridays of every month, we're doing like hashtag comedy company is the comedy
That's
company
huge.
or whatever. Yeah, so I do marketing for them. I'm kind of like a co-owner, and so basically I'm helping produce those. We're trying to get as many different types of comedy too. So it's like we're trying to work on some sketch groups we're gonna get started doing, and like live sketch, and then obviously improv, and then I'd like to do more stand-up stuff too, because I feel like you can't call yourself a comedy company and not have only one comedy form. So, but yeah, I've been doing that every Friday for the last like 3 or 4 Fridays, and then
Okay.
we do improv shows every month in Grandview.
Okay. Where's that at?
It's at Woodlands Tavern on 3rd
Okay.
Avenue.
Yeah, I know that place.
Yeah, first Wednesday of every month there, and then there's another cast, TBD. They do TBD, the improvised musical. That's the last Wednesday of every month, so it's this Wednesday. I mean,
How are
whenever
the
you're
turnouts for
watching
these
this
shows
last
normally?
Wednesday, pretty good. We sell out TBD quite a bit. The Woodlands show gets about like 30 to 40, 50 people in there. It has capacity for like 75, but Woodlands is really nice because they will like work with us to organize the room. So it's like one of those rooms where it's like if you have 20 people, it feels full, but you can also have like 50 more than that, and it feels pretty good. So
Okay.
it's a pretty nice room.
Yeah, it's a really I like that room. I've only been there for like music shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could imagine that like that stage would be pretty good for, you know,
Yeah.
anything.
Well, they have the nice little like green room, and that just like comes onto the main stage. So
Yep.
it's kind of cool, but
Yeah, and it's a way like they have like a service bar back there, like in that stage room, but like the main bar is like in a different room,
yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Well, it's nice because they have that big soundproof curtain too. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the sound rarely gets in. So we'll have
Shout
shows.
out to Woodlands Tavern.
Yeah, Woodlands is amazing. You guys rock. Woodlands, like they have like the performance room in the back, and then sometimes we'll have like we'll do improv there while they're doing like a concert in the front, and like we can barely hear the band. It's like incredible. So
Oh shoot.
yeah, it's a one of my favorite rooms in Columbus, I would say.
Hell yeah.
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 How many people does it sit?
She said
Like
75.
75. It's like, I think it's pretty big. And I don't know if that's like standing capacity because it's like for like bands and music acts, but for seating, I mean, we could probably get 75 people in there for sure. Just how it's built, it's like really malleable. And I think they have a bar in the back too, but I've never seen anyone working it, but maybe for bigger shows they do that. I don't know.
Yeah, for music they do probably like for the standing shows probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So yeah, and then
That's
Natalie's
crazy.
is cool. You've probably been to the Natalie's.
I've been
before, right?
there, but not for shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we do the back room, like the main stage, and that seats like I think over 100, and we sold that one out last month. Looks like we're probably gonna sell out this one too this week. So
Okay.
it does all right. Yeah, I think it's a good following, and people like it because it's different. And improv is nice because it's like every single time you get something new. Like TBD is cool because and our shows because you get to pick the theme. Like we'll do story-based shows, and then The audience picks a topic, and then we do improv based off of like the topic. It's actually how I got into stand up.
How long have you been doing the improv for?
I started in 2018 doing some stuff like just workshops at Wild Goose, and then I moved to just doing it, I guess, at a couple like private classes and lessons and stuff like that. And then I went full time and I auditioned for hashtag and I got in 2017 or 2018 maybe, I don't know, somewhere around there.
So do you?
So
I know a few guys. So Paul
Stelzer.
Yep.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I know him. He's cool.
Him. He's one of the co-owners
He's
of
really
hashtag.
nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then I also I did a musical with Alex. He's
Dodge?
like what? His last name starts with an L.
Left field, I think. Is
Yeah,
what his
maybe.
name.
Yeah, really tall, thin.
Like kind of blondish hair,
or yeah,
glasses.
like bald.
Yeah, he does.
Like, you were like blonde. Like he's got
Is
hair.
he bald? No, I think
He's
has
like
hair.
he's got some.
He has hair.
I'm sorry if you do have
Yeah.
a lot more hair than I thought, but
No, it's bald. I mean, it's blonde, so it's hard to
okay.
see. No, yeah, he does the TBD, the improvised music.
Yeah,
so he's incredible. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
dude, he played Pinocchio in Shrek.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
he was hilarious.
I love that. I also love that he's like super tall and playing Pinocchio.
Dude,
like, that's
It
like-
was-
I can't imagine Shrek was taller than Pinocchio. That's
Oh, dude, yeah.
Visually
yeah,
hilarious.
Pinocchio was way taller than Shrek.
That's
It was
amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, those are some really talented people. So I've worked
Mm-hmm.
with some of those guys. Paul, he started doing stand up a while ago. He started
Yeah.
doing it. And it was actually crazy because there was a set that I had recorded that I posted on YouTube. I pulled it because it was like really old and those jokes are way tighter now. But you were in the crowd.
Oh,
and Shrunken
really?
Head. You and your boyfriend.
Oh my god.
You guys were in like that front table, and I was like, this was like I think way before like you might have like just been coming out, just watching.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'll show you.
You gotta
later.
show me. It might not be me. I don't think.
No, it's. I'm pretty sure it's you.
Oh, it might have been me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like pretty sure
Huh.
it's you.
Yeah, probably.
But this is like way before like I even saw you do stand up.
Yeah.
This
Well,
was-
I went a couple times.
This was like I think 2021.
Yeah, it sounds right. Yeah. I went a few times. I went like 4 times and then I tried it out. The first time I did stand up officially was at Shrunken Head, but I did stuff.
You did, yeah. I
That I'd
remember
done for
watching
improv
you your
shows.
first time, or well, maybe not your first time, but like one of your first few times.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I was like, oh, this girl's kind of like Eric Basso.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
your
I
first
kind of
set, your first set was like you were just like reading from your notebook.
Yeah.
And you did like just a bunch of one-liners, but the one that made me
Yeah.
think that was you did one about a cloud.
Yeah. It's like what does a cloud bring to the bank? A rain check, you know?
I was like, this girl. I was like,
Yeah, I still say that joke. Well, it's really nice because like I have about like probably like 15 or 20 of those, and I really enjoy it because it's like I love like the stupid puns, and it's like a nice way for me to like torture the audience, you know, like a little bit. Like they kind of like feel like they have to have them like
sometimes
hostage,
I thought it
guess.
was fun when you did it because
But-
like sometimes the Shrunken Head would get like, you know what I mean, like a little like monogamous.
Yeah.
Or monogamous. Or,
No, yeah,
is that
everyone's dating one person. What's the deal with that?
It's like, why isn't anybody sleeping around? What
No
the
groups
hell?
of 3. No groups of 3. No, this is,
Yeah, like
I
just
got-
monotone.
Yeah,
just
yeah, I
like
got you.
everything
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just like whatever, and
Yeah.
then you just like came up and it was just like silly.
It was
like
so dumb.
no, yeah, but it was like different. It was fun. It was like great because it was like everything just felt kind of, you know, dark sometimes. It's like
Yeah.
Shrunken Head, because like Shrunken Head like you know would go in and out
Mm-hmm.
like, and I think that was like right after like the pandemic like really kind of lifted, so like people weren't really coming out yet, and so I don't know.
Yeah, and people were probably like trying to like kind of brush the rust off, I guess, from the pandemic too. But yeah, I've kind of found like the nice medium of doing puns in between jokes when I'm still working on like a transition, or even if I don't want to have a transition, and I love that because it's
Yeah.
like I feel like if the audience, especially doing stories, it's like if the audience loses me for like if I'm going too long on a story that I'm working on or something like that, if I say a one-liner, it's like, okay, like new chapter, like turn the page. they're back with me, and then we can move on. Or like I've noticed doing things that like get like claps helps. Like I sang during one of my jokes, like that helps, I think, get people's attention back, and then they can hear my next joke or whatever. So I try to find ways that it's like if somebody doesn't like one story or one joke, like hopefully they'll like the other one, and I feel like the puns are a nice way to break that up.
Yeah, I was gonna say so that show there that we did on Saturday, I did one joke. There was one joke that I did that they just did not like. They just didn't respond at all. Like it wasn't like they didn't boo me, they didn't laugh, they just like
what was Saturday?
I did a show in Troy, Ohio. It was like a private event for like this like group of people. They were installing like new officers, so they were like doing like normally they would have music after like these events, but they have like this new guy, and he was like, you know what, let's do stand up. And you know for Tony Wallace, local comedian, for
He's
those
great.
who are
I
listening,
like
he that was his first produced show. Like
nice.
that was the first time he's like produced a show, and for his first time it was like good. Like he did a very good job. And like honestly, like with like how the show went and how like the show ended, who knows, he might have like a return customer. So
that's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say they seemed really down for like what we brought. So I'm really hyped for him, because that's like another like that's a new chapter for him. We can start doing like that, because it's like he's a newer guy, and I don't so he's new. He's like I think about a year in, maybe a little bit more than that. And I haven't like produced any shows.
Yeah.
So it's and I'm like almost 4 years in.
I mean, you don't have to produce.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? You can leave it to other people to drain our souls. You don't have to do it. You can stay nice and spry, and you can go back to Edwin,
No, but like, I mean, I'm working on it right now. I just thought, I feel like my old thought was like, I don't have like tight enough material.
Yeah.
I really wanted to like, if I'm going to like have a room, I want to like do more time, and I want to make it like worth the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to just go up there and just like, you know what I mean, fucking shoot the shit for 10 minutes and then be like, well, I do that every week, and then I'm just like not getting, you know what I mean? Like I'm not actually doing anything. But I think I understand how to like write jokes better now. Before I was horrible. I was so bad. And now I'm like, all right, I can like write a joke in a few days, turn it around, and then and I've found that like for me at least, like I'm like getting to the point where it's like I can write a joke now, and then I might even rewrite the joke like 2 times before I even put it on the stage, like really quick. Like so I'm getting way better at that. Like before, I don't know if I had a writer's block or if I'm just now figuring out how to write. Like if I just like
it probably takes like that long though,
because I was like so dumb.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was just like writing on stage, but not really. It was like whatever a new comic does.
Yeah, like whatever you call that, improvising. I think that's like something that I'm trying to work on too, is expanding my material, but also trying to like, I don't know, get it a little bit tighter too. I feel like,
dude,
I have a lot of different stories. I have a lot of things I want to say, but it's like, okay, how do I turn? Because I did like 20 minutes, and it was like all right, it was okay, but I probably had like at least probably like 7 minutes that could have probably not even been in there. And so trying to like cut that down and kind of sharpen it up is what I'm focusing on. It's hard though. It's like when you're producing a show, because you're not like, you're so in producer mode that you're not really like thinking, like normally you're only going to do like 5 to 10 minutes as a host anyway, probably. But it's like, you're still so focused on like, okay, is like the light guy doing his thing? Is like the sound guy doing his thing?
We'll see. And that was like the thing, like, so Tony did a great job, but like, I did also help do a lot of stuff, because I've been with a lot of people who've produced shows. So it's like, I know what's going on. I'm like, all right, so we just got to make sure that we're taking care of our shit. They'll, pay us after the show. Like, that's just how it works. Like, we just got to make sure that we do our job. And so like, I definitely understand that. 'Cause like for me, I like didn't even have my set ready. I was like, fuck, like trying to make sure that everything's set up, trying to make sure I'm like, yo, you good, Tony? Like, like you have everything like you need. Like I was trying to make sure that everything was just like set up. And then I was like, I mean, I still did really well. I would say maybe like a 7 out of 10, but like my main focus right now is I have a lot of new jokes that I've been working on that I really want to make sure that are like nice and tight, because like, you know, got like the showcases coming up here at the Funny Bone. We also got like the funniest person in Columbus contest coming up. So, you know, I just want to make sure that I have everything tight and ready, because one of my favorite things is just like jokes. I'm not a story guy. I suck at stories. I like can never get to the point. Like it's like I don't know. I
think that's fine though. Like you don't have to be a story person.
But like I found that with like jokes, and maybe after I like figure out like the joke writing, like actually, then I'm like maybe I'll like be able to actually start writing stories better and like being able to tell stories better. But like, dude, like jokes for me, I just love just like doing like a 1 minute joke. Yeah. And like being able to like get all the beats and get fucking like 4 to 7 laughs. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
I think you're good at that. And I feel like that's also helpful, because it's like when you have a 5-minute story or like a 3 to 4 minute story that you're trying to flesh out, it's like you go to an open mic, you're spending the whole night doing that one story. It's like when you're doing jokes, I feel like it's like rapid fire. You're able to get way more input and like feedback on everything you've been working for like the last week or a few days or whatever.
And if one doesn't work, like you were saying, then like the next, like you can like reset the next joke. Like here we go.
There's been so many times where it was like unless I have a story like really like fleshed out, I'm not gonna like it'll die. Like I know it's not gonna do well. And then it's like halfway through, it's like, well, can I just say like, oh well, that's my time, like, or do I just like give up? Like sometimes I'm like, I've done that before too, where I'm just like, I don't like this story, and I just like move on to something else to like fill my time. But
and that's tough. Like why I was saying earlier, like when we were talking before the podcast, it's like I really try to just like I'm not like telling them don't ever do stories, but like I try to like discourage like new comics from just like going up and telling stories, because it's like a lot of them are like how I was, like they just like can't get to the point. And because they can't get to the point, they also don't understand how to like make the story like at least interesting or funny enough to like keep it going. Yeah. Like I said, we had this new guy, never done stand up before. He wrote this fucking 5-minute story, dude, and it was so insane. Like I was like, I am not gonna tell him to not do stories, because this guy, like he has like the pre conditioning for like storytelling. So I'm like, all right, this guy, he'll be able to figure it out way faster than I will. Like I was like, he's already on like that path, and and he's fucking brand new. He did we had him do the joke at the workshop. He told the story. We just like, hey, take this one piece, move it, and I'm telling you, he did it at Savor Pint, and he fucking killed it.
That's awesome.
And it was 5 minutes exactly.
That's perfect.
Like he fucking got off 5 minutes exactly. It was insane.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man. I fucking really like admire good storytellers. Like there's few of them who aren't comedians that like who have like either tried comedy before or whatever, but like if they like really tried it, like they would be fucking great. And it's funny because the people that I know who are good at storytelling are from the same area that Ian Miller's from.
Like the same part of town?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're like childhood friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Ian Miller, in my opinion, is like one of the best storytellers
he's amazing.
in the city.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's so good. He's like one of my favorites. It's like, he's so good. Yeah. Man. Like, I just wish I was good at storytelling. It's just like so frustrating.
I don't know. I feel like I'm still working on everything, of course, so I'm not nearly where I would want to be as far as like storytelling and everything goes. But when I started out like wanting to do stand up, like that was initially what I wanted to do when I was getting into comedy, and I was like kind of too nervous about it, so I started doing improv. And then I got into these shows that we do storytelling, and it was like the audience gives you a topic that they want to hear stories about, and it could be like your first time, or like an animal, or like a family or vacation or whatever, date. And then like everybody takes a turn telling stories. And then I really was looking forward to the storytelling part more than anything else. Like, and I already had started workshopping stories that I'd been telling multiple times on these improv stages. And so when I started doing stand-up, I already had the story like kind of locked down.
Okay.
And I was able to, and all of those too, those shows, it's like keep your stories within 3 minutes. So it was like very pointed and practiced.
Because that's why you were saying like 2 or 3 minute story, and I was like, oh, okay,
it's
so like
specific.
okay, hell yeah, I was like, that's a very specific number. It's like most people try to just do like the one story, like the new comics, like they just try to do one story. Yeah.
And I think like, I mean, you can totally do that, but as I've been telling
It's
more
hard.
stories and I get more time, I find callbacks to other stories. Like there's one story now, like I won't tell unless I have like 10 minutes so I can tell like 2 other stories in front of it. So then I can do callbacks for it. So it's like, but then that's the problem is that how do I practice that story? You know, it's like if I'm really depending on these laughs to come in regularly at these times that are based off of the callbacks before, I can't really like do that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I think storytelling is great, but it's also like, it kind of hinders you. Like I want to be able to get better to like what you're doing where it's like the shorter jokes, like 2 lines or whatever, and like not a pun.
Who would you say is your favorite comedian?
I really love Norm Macdonald. He was my favorite. I like cried when he died. It was dramatic, but he was amazing.
Yeah, he's really good.
And then I would say I really like Kathleen Madigan.
Don't even know who
so
that is.
she does stories. Yeah. So she does stories, and a lot of her stories are talking about like her parents, like growing up, and she does them in such a way that it's like her stories are probably like 5 to 6 minutes long, but they're so they're very succinct. Like she goes on like kind of like tangents, but not really. Like it's really just like world building. Like it's like I'm gonna tell you this one thing my mom did, but first I'm gonna tell you all of this backstory about my parents. Like, and it's perfect, and it's very like linear, which I think is helpful. Sometimes like I think I have ADHD. I don't know. I don't have health insurance. But like I kind of can get very like distracted on stuff, and so like I'll go all the way off to something else and then forget to come back. But having that like linear point where it's like all of these things contribute to the end punchline is like perfect. So yeah, Kathleen Madigan, you should check her out. Yeah.
Dude, Rich, can you grab me a glass of water, please?
Yeah.
There's a glass that's on the ledge.
You don't want a Mountain Dew?
I mean, it's in a 2-liter, so you can pour it in if you want. Yeah. There's a glass on the ledge. That stem. There you go.
A Mountain Dew in a glass.
Nice, hell yeah. But yeah, that's crazy. I feel like when in the beginning I tried to do like some type of story shit, didn't really work. And I really was into, I always tell everybody this, and people are probably tired of hearing me say this now.
Yeah.
But fucking Daniel Tosh, number 1 comedian.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's my fucking favorite fucking comedian, hands down. Love you, dude. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Of course.
He's my favorite comedian. I would say that I've been really getting into Anthony Jeselnik recently.
Oh yeah, I love Anthony Jeselnik. He's really good, and he does like his whole premise is like he's a dick, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like okay, I'm thinking of it. Yeah. Oh, I love his jokes,
dude.
So
well, and the thing is, and I feel like that's kind of like how Daniel is too. Like his. Like he's like they're both kind of like dicks, and they just kind of say shit, and I feel like I have my like the people who really enjoy me, they tend to find that part of my personality like the best, where I'm kind of like a dick, but you know I'm not like mean. I'm just like, you know what I mean, just kind of pushing buttons a little bit, you know, here and there. And I really wish I could do better at it, because I feel like starting in the Columbus scene has made me kind of meek a little bit. You know what I mean?
I kind of feel similarly, and I feel like I was so strong starting off, and then I'm just like...
That's how I felt. I felt like I was like, yeah.
And it's like, it's called like the Dunning-Kruger method. Have you heard of this before?
I've heard of it. What is it again?
It's like if you are like... It's like longer you're doing something, or like the more skilled you get at something, the less confident you are. So it's like when you start off, you think that you're really good and you've got it all figured out. And then the more you learn about the subject and like how many other things there are to learn about it, it's like your confidence goes lower and lower. So it's like, ideally, if you're like an expert, you know, you should know nothing, basically. You know, like you should like know that you know nothing, and then that motivates you to learn more.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like when I first started off, I was like pretty like, you know, I felt like I was more like that. And now I'm like, I'm trying to get to that where I'm like, wow, how do I like write jokes that are like kind of like that? You know, because a lot of my family jokes are the ones that hit the hardest, and those ones are kind of like, you know, I'm not like calling my mom a whore or calling my dad, you know, whatever, but like, you know, I'm insinuating things like that, and it's like those are the jokes that do the best, and I'm like, how do I say it in like a nice silly way that like is still kind of like, oh, Eddie's being a dick, like
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I feel like you should read, maybe you have read it, but the How to Kill in Comedy. Have you read this? I just Googled it. It's on my Kindle. I don't know. But it's How to Kill in Comedy is the book name. It's probably like the only book titled that, or the top one. But basically, like the author breaks down like your like comedic character is like one of the sections in it. And so like that's something I've been struggling with is like, who am I on stage? Because like, if I'm like saying something that's like goofy, I want people to realize like that's not me. Like you want to be genuine, but you still want to like have some kind of persona. Like, and so basically like she has all these like practices, or I don't even know who writes it, but like Steve North. So Steve writes all of these like practices and like worksheets about like what is like your most like eccentric part of you or something. And so like for you, it sounds like it'd probably be like what you were describing. And then it's like how to like write your jokes in a way that's like still grounded in reality, so you have more of something to build off of, as opposed to being like, well, now I have to like create a character, create this like create all of these viewpoints, and then also tell story or jokes, versus like, well, I'm just going to like accentuate this one aspect of my personality and make that my whole character. So it's like anytime you ever like think about something, you're like, that's crazy, I could never do that, or like, oh, I can't believe I even thought that. It's like, maybe that's that thing, you know, like, so like feed into that, like what would that look like, like if you did that, the worst thing possible in this scenario, what would the outcome have been, you know, and then like playing into that. But I'm still reading it, but it's been really helpful for me.
You said How to Kill in Comedy.
How to Kill in Comedy,
by Steve North.
Steve North, yes.
Hell yeah. Look at that. This is why we have him.
This is like the nerd
so we don't
computer
so I was gonna say, so we don't sound like complete idiots. This book by
we'll just redo this whole thing over again. Steve North. Yeah.
So is that what it is? So it's like the more you learn, the less confident you become.
Basically, yeah. Like so
interesting.
The specific definition of it is a cognitive bias in which people wrongly overestimate their knowledge or ability in a specific area.
Yeah. So then it's like you start learning that like, oh, I have way more to learn, and then that affects your confidence basically. And like, I'm not
interesting.
Like because it's like you think, oh, I did this one thing, I made this one joke this one time. Like I talk to my friends who like want to produce shows this all the time. Like it's easy to sell at your first show, and so it's like a lot of people, I think they do one show and they're like, it went so well, you know, we sold out, whatever. But it's like, okay, but how do you do this again? How do you get new audience members to the shows every single time? Like, how do you keep it fresh? How do you reach? How do you scale it? How do you expand your market? Like, and you don't really think about that because you're just so excited about doing the one sellout, you know?
So, and I feel like that was kind of part of the reason why I haven't like done anything yet. And I've been working a lot with, you know, the people that I've been working with, and it's like definitely shown me how to like work with that. And then also just like the things that you have to do. It's like, you can't have every single comedian be the exact same every single time.
Yeah, I get really frustrated by that. And Mandy Monica, who I do the Rambling House showcases with, the monthly, they were second Sunday. We're gonna do another day, I think, now. But that's something that like she's really helped me with, because I didn't have too much experience. Like I would do like improv shows, but improv shows, it's like you could have like 4 like improv groups that all look the same. I mean, to be honest, they all kind of look the same. They're all like white, but for the most part, unfortunately.
Dun, dun, dun.
But you could have like a bunch of comics, and it would still be like relatively like, I think, fresh. You know, you're not going to get different cultural references or whatever. Like sometimes that's really nice to have like people from different backgrounds in improv, but then sometimes it is like hard because it's like, well, I don't really know this reference, so I'm just going to wing it. But that, if you're a good improviser, that can still be funny. But anyways, Mandy's really taught me how to like curate a good show. Like we were talking about jokes. It's like, if your act isn't somebody's cup of tea, then it's like, hopefully they like the next one. You know, it's like, you don't want to have like people that have all the same perspective, all the same background, even sometimes like, oh, look alike even, you know, and not like that determines your style, but like it gets boring for the audience. So switch it up.
That was like one of the things that I think I noticed with the show that we did in Troy is that like, you know, white audience, you know, older crowd. And there were 3 white comedians on the show.
Yeah.
And like we did okay. Like they laughed at our jokes. But the best comedians that went up were Tony and then Mark Faison. Shout out to Mark. Like, dude, they fucking murdered it.
Yeah.
They wanted color in that room. Like they wanted like something else.
Yeah.
And they fucking killed it. Like it was insane.
Yeah.
'Cause like Tony, you know what I mean? Like he's just been tightening the fuck out of his shit, and he did 20 minutes, and it was just like one of those things where he was able to just like, he took them and he just like broke them in half. He just like, it was so insane. I love watching him because he is able to do that to like the white crowds. Like he's just like so fucking good at it, and they love him. They just like love him.
Yeah, I think that's like always gives me hope. Like I went to do that show at like the Moose Lodge in like rural Ohio, like and I think it was Gilly was there, and he did I think he did like 20-25 minutes, and he crushed it. I mean, like they really liked it, you know. And I was surprised because it's like you have like all these, literally everybody else is like white basically. I mean, except for like Oliver's family who he produced it, but like everybody's like, all the audience members are white, and they're all sitting in like the bar in the corner, and like all of their backs are facing the like the comics. And I got their attention because I went up and I had a wireless mic, so I made everyone do the wave, and that was really helpful. It was really funny for me to see like a bunch of 70-year-old people doing the wave. Okay. And then some old guy started hitting on me during my set, so that was a lot of fun. I had a lot to work with there. It was good. It was good. He was like, he looked like he was like a skinny Santa on vacation. Like he had like a Hawaiian shirt on, and he was like a beanpole. And his wife was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. He normally isn't like this." I'm like, "You mean when he's seeing a comedy show at the Moose Lodge? Like how many times has this happened?" Like this, it's I think the first time this Moose Lodge is seeing comedy, unless you count a Moose Lodge being a joke in and of itself. Sorry. Sorry, Moose Lodge.
Fucking Moose Lodge, dude.
But yeah, I think like if your stuff's good, it should, regardless of like who the audience is, they should enjoy it. You know, like Dick Dickerson kills wherever I've seen him at. Like I saw him in like a Newark show. Incredible. Like
he's so good.
And so yeah, I feel like that's something that I always try to get out of is like like, oh man, like I just don't know how to connect with the audience. And I think that's something where it's like creating a character would be helpful, because I feel like sometimes I'm like, I need to like connect with you, like I need to, you know, we need to bridge this gap. Yeah, but I'm just me, like who I am as a person, as opposed to like, oh, I'm this character. It's like almost maybe like a shield, so it's a little bit easier to make me banter because it's not really like me, you know.
So I was gonna say, I feel like that personality that I'm searching for is me. I'm trying to just bring me onto the stage.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's like for me, I like serve tables, and I find that like it's so crazy because my crowd work skills on like a small group of people where it's like I'm not like trying to make everybody laugh, it's incredible. I can go up to a table and like just like murder for like 2 or 3 minutes, just straight off the top. Let's like walk up to the table, I'll crack a joke, and then we can like get going. But like for some odd reason, I can't bring that like personality trait on stage yet. When there's like a group of like 50 people,
Yeah.
for some odd reason, I don't know what happens. It's just like brings me down to like a level where it's like, all right, I'm a little bit more humble. I'm just gonna sit here and just like, hey, guy, nice.
Yeah, like-
You know what I mean? I'm not really like doing what I would normally do. So
Yeah.
and I was gonna say, I've noticed that like with the past, because I've worked at like I've worked at a lot of restaurants, but like in the past like year especially, like I've just noticed that my skills at the table are just like way better than they were before I started doing comedy. Before I started doing comedy, I was just like, hi, like what can I get you and whatever. But now it's like I can go up there, depending on like what they look like, I can like be like make a joke, and then they're like ah ha 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 ha, and it just like ups your tip a little bit depending on the restaurant. So it's like it's great.
Yeah. Should do all those like my mom's a whore jokes to your, to your patrons to see how long on Mother's Day, see what they think of. Like, like,
God damn.
Oh, is this your daughter? Yeah, my mom's a whore. Anyways, our Mother's Day special is cheesecake.
That's so fucking funny. Yeah, because it was like it just all depends. Like there was one time I went up to like one of my coworkers, and I was like, there's like this table of old men. It was a table of 4. 3 of them were there. And there was one guy who was still gonna show up, and then he showed up, and I went up to my coworker and I was like, watch this. I'm gonna walk up, and I'm just gonna fucking start going. And I walked up to the table, and literally all I said, and this is like how easy it is, I just like walked up to these old dudes, and I was like, yeah, they said the boss was going to be late. And they just fucking broke the table. They just all started laughing. And then he was like, that means I get the check, right? And then they all started laughing. It was like so crazy. She was like, how did you do that? And I was just like, dude, you just got to know how to play people. It's like the same way that girls like know how to flirt with guys. It's like you're just trying to get a different reaction.
Yeah, you're like flirting with all your customers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
in like a not like a HR way,
dude. But sometimes,
and not like in like a completely platonic.
But dude, sometimes I had one guest recently. I have like these like scars on my hands from I was playing with a cat, and it was like scratching the fuck out of my hand. And she's like, what happened to your hand? Did somebody bite you? And I was like, oh, I was just playing with a cat. And then she was like, oh, well, why would you play with a cat like that when you could be playing with me? And I was like,
what the heck?
I was like, miss, we need to. I'm gonna go check on these other tables really quick. I'm sorry. What the fuck?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, the old women. There are some pretty assertive women.
What is it? It's like all that pent up, like, man, thank God for like the sexual revolution, because before then they were all penting it up to wait till they're like 90 to release it on some poor 20-somethings. All of the like. I grew up in like a smaller town. We used to have this like open mic night for like music, and I'd always go. And this one guy that was there, so freaking creepy, would hit on me all the time, and he didn't know my name, and he wanted to know my name so he could stalk me on Facebook. And so all of my friends, like we all know each other. We're all like high schoolers hanging out here, and he would go to like every single one. He'd be like, "Yeah, so do you know like what that girl's name is?" Or like I'd be talking to someone, he'd like come up to the person I'm talking to, my friend, and he'd be like, oh, I've been trying to figure out what her name is. Like, I'm right there. He's like, what's her name? Do you know what her name is? And I actually told him my name was like Ann Anonymous, like Anonymous, and he believed it. So he started calling me Ann. He's like, do you not have a Facebook, Ann? I've been trying to find you. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a Facebook. I'm trying to be kind of under the radar.
Dude.
Yeah. He's such an idiot. Dude. But then he's like, he comes up to me with my friend, and he's like, do you realize that she's the prettiest girl in the high school? And I'm like, why are you looking at all the girls at the high school? Like, why are you doing audits of how cute the girls are at the high schools?
Old men. I hope I never turn into that, dude.
Yeah.
I just like, cause like, dude, I'll be like on my friend's profile sometimes, like like some girls will like post a picture and it'll just be some random dude, like don't know them at all, and they're like, wow, pretty. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's just straight up. It's nothing like, it's not like, sometimes it's like weird, but like normally it's just like 2 to 5 words.
Man.
Like,
it's like what they thought You know, it's just, and then they just like, and they don't realize like you don't have to say it on like.
Look good.
I really feel like people like a certain generation, especially like they think that like Facebook is just like your diary. You know, like it's like I don't think they like realize like other people see it. You know,
my favorite is when people say that like they're like parents or their grandparents think that they're messaging them, but they're on their page. It's like, Hannah, I missed you. How have you been?
Yeah.
And it's like, Grandma, it's like, how's that hernia? It's like, is it cleared up yet? And you're just like, Grandma, stop.
Did you get that hemorrhoid cream I ordered you? You're like, not now. It's my birthday post.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, it's like, man, yeah, I hate that.
It's like that's like the equivalent of like them taking the picture where it's like just like straight on.
Oh my god.
Where it's just like you get all the chin and everything. You like
Oh.
every fucking flap on the chin and everything. It's crazy.
I have a relative who she'll like send me photos of things, but sometimes the camera will be the opposite way and she doesn't realize it, and I don't have the heart to tell her because it's like I get these cute selfies that she's like, look how pretty the sunset was, and it's like just her trying to like focus on her phone.
Just a bright ass face, just like she's like squinting. She's like,
it's so wholesome. Like I can't tell her, you know. I don't have the heart to tell her because then it'll stop.
That's funny. That's so fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah,
I fucking love that shit. Yeah, I mean, fucking what? Oh, man, where do we go from here? I was like, we were just talking about old people on Facebook.
Yeah, we've talked
right
a lot
now.
about old people.
Like,
I feel like
let's not talk about old people.
Yeah,
We're getting
yeah.
old now.
Yeah,
we're
but
just
you
talking about
should-
we're 27.
yeah,
We finally found out that Ridge is still younger than me.
yeah.
I'm glad.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, dude, Ridge, I'm sorry, dude. he got so hyped for a second. He's like, wait a minute.
Oh my god.
I'm older than you. And I was like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, dude. Like,
It could be. You
It
know.
was just a shift in what I knew.
I was just going to say, if you would have told me that you were older than me, it would have made me even more disappointed in you. I would have been like, oh my God.
He got
dude.
there. He got there. The math's hard because it's like, you know, you have to
I
like
was
subtract the months and everything.
So I'm now just as disappointed in you as I was before. But
Oh. How long have you guys known each other?
we've known each other for, I don't know, like
Almost
what?
2 years now.
Yeah, 2 years now.
Yeah, I don't like normally ask people how old they are until I've known them for a few more.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It was just like one of those things that because of like how different our personalities are,
Mm-hmm.
I always thought he was so much younger than me.
Oh,
So I'd always be like,
is that an insult?
kind of, yeah, no, it is.
Everybody said it.
Yeah.
Dude, no, I was like, dude, you act like you're like what, 23?
Yeah.
24? And he's like, no, dude, I'm literally like 4 months younger than you. And I'm
Oh
like,
man, how does that make you feel though?
what do you mean?
Like, do you feel if you think someone's like younger than you, like, are you? But they're the same age as you. Are you like, oh shit, like I'm
Yeah,
old, I'm a little old fart, you know, like
It's just like a.
because I feel like an old fart when I do that. I'm
I
like,
think how I feel is it's just like I don't know. I do feel a little old, but
Uh-huh.
I'm like I don't know. It's just like I have, like I said, like I feel like as I've like done more comedy, I've like definitely become more like meek, and like Ridge hasn't done enough stage time
Yeah.
to like be humbled enough.
yeah, he's
by
like
that.
too loud. I noticed
Yeah.
as soon as I came in.
She's like, she's like, as soon as I walked in, he was just like going ham.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, that's so
kidding.
funny. But like, yeah, he hasn't like bombed enough on stage to like
Yeah.
really have that like, just like
But this is like
some things you don't say. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah,
like,
yeah. Okay, so we can edit this out. I feel like we're talking about like interpersonal things here.
no. We love each other. Like, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna text me. He's like, man, why are you talking
I'm gonna
shit
get
about
a
me?
fourth camera just for you, buddy. No, I feel like I don't know. I feel like if somebody tells me like I'm younger than they thought, I don't feel like, unless someone guesses my exact age, I feel a type of way. Like either way.
Oh,
you know?
if they guess my exact age, it's like really weird. I had
Yeah.
I feel incredible when people think I'm like 20, 21, because
Yeah.
I have a youthful vigor almost, and I try not to look at it as immature, like Eddie.
Yeah. I try to be mature. those extra few months really
Dude.
have helped you.
Yeah, but like no, like literally, like I'm just must be high as fuck all the time. But I'm just like, dude, how old are you? Because I
Yeah.
feel like you are like 22.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, dude, I'm like literally your age. We talked about this 1,000 times, and I'm like, man, I forget all the time.
Man, no, my boyfriend looks way younger than me. And we're the same age, and he like just got better skin. And yeah, I mean, he moisturizes. I don't, you know, like
what
it's
she meant
like,
to say is I'm just white.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's what she
He's,
meant
I
to
know
say.
he's black. That helps too. But like, he also does moisturize. Like if my
Do you
like
not? Because
no,
I don't either.
No, I don't
Is
either.
that just like
that might be a
do we just-
problem.
Do
Yeah.
we just? Why did we not learn to moisturize?
I don't know. I've learned so many different things. You
what,
know.
Ridge?
Well,
do you
I mean-
moisturize?
I mean, my dad used a lot of lotion growing up, so of course I do.
It was like Ridge uses a lot of lotion, but
Yeah.
he's only moisturizing one part of his body.
Moisturize, yeah.
He's like only one
Got a
part.
big old bottle of lotion right beside my bed. And
No, it's bad. I do not like moisturize nearly as enough as like I probably should.
The only lotion I've ever put on, I feel like, is suntan lotion.
Yeah, I can't tell if I'm like really this pale or it's just straight ash, you know. But anyways, my boyfriend and I, we went to like pick up something from Facebook Marketplace once, and this guy, I like mentioned that like I graduated college a few years ago, and he was like, "What? Graduated college?" And then he like immediately looks at my boyfriend and like very concerned, and he's like, "Son, how old are you?" He's like, you're in high school, right?" And he was like looking at me, and I was like, I'm like some predator, and he's like, "No," he's like, "I'm 20."
Were you wearing that sweatshirt?
He's like, "I'm 26." This one, champion?
Yeah, were you
No.
wearing that sweatshirt?
No, why should I have?
No. I'm just saying that, like, so he just thought you were so much older than him?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
Wait, what's the sweatshirt? Is this
I
older?
was like, huh?
Does this make me look older?
It,
I feel like I look like a little kid when I
You,
wear this
like-
shit.
like, you look like a soccer mom.
Do I?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's kind of
like,
what I've been going
I'm not
for.
like, I'm not.
Thank you. That's
Like-
actually my whole aesthetic.
Like, dude, like,
I
no,
really
for
appreciate
real.
that.
You literally look like you've got like 3 or 4 kids.
Yes.
And you're like bussing. You're like,
Yeah.
you look like you should be a lot more aggressive than you are.
Really?
Yeah. You look
I
like,
always try to look tough.
yeah, you look like a mom.
I'm happy to hear that.
She's like, she's gonna go home and she's gonna cry. She's like,
No,
Eddie,
this
don't
is
post that
amazing.
podcast.
No,
I'm never
I
coming back
really-
on.
No, I wear these like dad shoes and stuff.
No,
like,
yeah, there you go. Look
Nike
at that.
runners.
See?
Yeah, no one like 30 years old is gonna be wearing these like without having kids.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like that makes sense. I mean, you have like the Nike Airs, the leggings. I have full mobility to like chase a bunch of little ones.
Chase the
And,
little
but this
one.
guy thought I was like chasing a little one in like a different way, you know. Like he was like, he's like, "Are you okay, son? Do you need a ride?" And
Call the NAACP.
Yes. What? Yeah, the NAACP. They make sure nobody's dating a high schooler when they're not a high schooler.
What does that stand for again?
I just said it. I don't know. I was just talking.
Okay,
shit.
we gave you too much power.
Yes.
You've had too much
About
fun.
me and I got provoked.
Yeah. Okay, go back to your record.
No, yeah. Go back to.
We'll let you
fucking-
know when.
Yeah. When we need you.
Yeah.
Fucking Ridge. How old are
Gosh.
you again?
Man,
No, I'm just
I just
joking.
walked in here and I'm
Oh man, that's crazy.
alpha. It's really the sweatshirt that does it. It's
No,
really
I'm
the-
telling you, like, if you would have said that you showed up like that, I would have been like,
That's
I mean,
so
I don't know how old your boyfriend looks though. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's like, it's hard for me to gauge.
He looks like he's in his early 20s, but I could
you
assume
don't
people
like
think he looks
because I
younger.
know you don't look old.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But like, I could see like if like someone was just like running into you,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, this is a mom.
No, this is like the kind of like
in
an
the
80s,
hat,
90s
And the
kind
hat,
of
like
thing.
the hat,
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
And
Thank
the
you.
Glasses. I just realized you
Yeah,
have the
it
same
really-
glasses as my mom.
It's a
Ah! Are
It's a
you
whole
Ridge's
thing.
mom?
son.
This is his son. Oh fuck, Hannah, do you have anything coming up?
Yeah, every single
Every
first
single-
Wednesday of every single month, you can see me at Woodlands Tavern doing improv. And then I'll just be doing stand-up throughout the city always,
Okay.
except for when I'm hosting Savor Pint as one of the 95 hosts.
Okay, dude. Really quick,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're here. Something that I've always wanted to say is that the Savor Pint like flyer is starting to remind me of like the meme of like when people die and they go into heaven and they have all the faces. Like I was like, this is.
That's really good.
No, it's just like,
With Murph on him.
dude. No, yeah, it's just like,
Actually, with Murph.
Well, because he's looking down. He's like,
Oh yeah, no.
looks like a memorial
dude.
photo.
He's like everyone. It's just like every week. It's just like this week we're adding this other person. And I'm like, oh no, another one.
Oh my
They're
God.
gone.
I'm gonna do like an in memoriam post, and then the next post I'm good because I made that post. So
Like
I'm
no,
gonna
I'm
do
telling
like
you,
a
I'm telling you, like put like the Heaven's Gate behind
like a
it.
clouds or something. I'm gonna do it on the next.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's like how I feel.
It's so good.
But okay, where can we find all your shit?
You can find me on @Hannah Romes on Instagram, and then you can also follow Columbus Laughs on Instagram and #comedy on Instagram.
Hell yeah!
And,
You guys have like a website too at all? Or?
yeah, #comedy has a website. Columbus Laughs has a website. I don't have a website yet.
Okay, hell yeah. I'll get all the links for those things in
Yes.
the descriptions and everything so everybody has a chance to go look at that.
Thank you.
But guys, this was Hannah Romes. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
listening to another episode of Help I'm High and Can't Get Down, and
Hell
we'll see
no.
you guys next time.
Bye.